So this year also it is expected to remain almost on the same level. Nearly 44% of the questions were actually from the mix of static and current affairs. This is where you need the integration of current affairs with the static part. Okay, make sure you write at least one map or figure in every geography answer, depending upon the applicability. Yes, of course, is going to add a good amount of value in your geography answers. It will also help you in analyzing, okay, so which pattern questions are coming, which type of questions are coming. Okay, please remember this. These are the 5 ingredients: content, language, approach, presentation, and structure. Good evening, everyone. So I hope all of you are doing fine. So the mains 2025 is just a week left, and I'd like to give my final advice for the subject of geography through this brief video. Let me tell you, so what exactly is the subject and the nature of this. I'm sure all of you have prepared this, and let me just take this moment to just give you that introduction, then we'll move on to the actual strategy. Okay, so in geography, which is part of GS1, we have in the syllabus 3 main topics: the world's physical geography, the resources and economic activity, and then the geophysical phenomena. Okay, so these are the topics which are given as it is in the syllabus, right? So this one we can consolidate into a total of 3 units. So that is the physical geography of world, and then the Indian physical geography, and then the human geography part. Human geography part obviously includes the resources and economic activities, right? So this is the overall the syllabus part. So talking about the overall scoring potential of this particular section. So talking about the overall potential of this particular section of geography. So this is the overall weightage of geography section in GS1. So approximately in the last 11 to 12 years, so we have an average of 100 marks out of 250. So this is significantly a high weightage compared to any subject in general studies GS 1, 2, 3, right? And so last year there were a total of 85 marks coming from geography. So plus I would say around 15 marks which was overlapping between society and geography. So approximately again we had the same weightage of 100 marks in the last year. So this year also it is expected to remain almost on the same level. Okay, so and that is one of the highest in terms of so scoreability. So now talking about whether in terms of this, whether will we be able to score so considering the nature and difficulty level. So for that we have to go through this sectional analysis, which clearly shows the nature of the questions. Okay, so you can see that out of this is the based on the last 3 years of analysis. Out of last 3 years, nearly 26% of the questions were pretty simple and direct, coming from the static part. So nearly 26% of the questions were static but applied part. Okay, so you can see nearly 52% of the questions were actually coming from the static part of geography, which you have studied as part of your so the preparation of GS, whether it is prelims or mains. From that core static part you find this. Nearly 44% of the questions were actually from the mix of static and current affairs. This is where you need the integration of current affairs with the static part. And there was only 4% of the question, that is only, there was only one question which was directly from the current affairs part. Okay, so which is, so I think it was related to the cyclone warning system, which was asked 2 years ago. Overall, you can see the nature of the geography section is that, so maximum number of questions are actually taken from the static part. Either it is being asked directly or it is asked indirectly in an applied manner, or you have to so add some current affairs to it and write the answer. So that makes the entire section highly scoring. Okay, please keep this in your mind when you attend general studies paper 1. The section of geography is your scoring part. Okay, so you do well in that, your GS1 will be pushed upwards. Okay, always keep it in your mind. And talking about the sections from which the questions have been asked, you can see that nearly 50% of the questions are from physical geography, 50% of the questions are from human geography. In this 50% of the questions which are asked from physical geography, so nearly 17% questions are directly from the very basic concepts related to physical geography, and 31% of the questions are basically related to the geophysical phenomena, which is part of this third part of the syllabus. Okay, important geophysical phenomena. If you observe, most of these topics are related to the current events which are happening across the world. Okay, whether it is earthquake or tsunami. You must have heard about the Russian earthquake and the tsunami which caused it. And there's volcanic activity, there's cyclones, and all these changes which are related to, so the global geophysical phenomena. Okay, this becomes significantly important, and that is very clear through this analysis. Nearly 31% of all the questions came from here. This year also, I'm expecting a good number of questions coming from here. A good number of questions are expected from here. So based on the current affairs, I'll give you some predictions of the questions. Okay, so other than this, you can see around nearly 52% of the questions are from the economic geography, human geography aspect. So there we talk about the natural resources and economic activities equally, almost same weightage. One interesting observation which you can make, usually it is included as part of the human geography only. So in the last 1 or 2 years, you observe some of the questions related to social geography. Okay, social geography concepts include the topics related to population, settlements, population growth, demographic dividend, okay, so or even the demographic winter, all these concepts which are related to the social geography, whether it is migration or urbanization or impact of globalization on the geographical aspect. So, okay, all of these are basically social geography. I told you there is an overlap between the geography and society in this area. Okay, this is the area where you actually see the overlapping between the geography and society. This is the way the questions are being asked in the last few years. So now talking about the important themes which are relevant for this year. Overall, I can divide the geography section into 3 different parts here. Okay, so I'm talking from the perspective of GS1. Okay, so in that the first part is the world physical geography, second part is the physical geography of India, third part is the human geography. In this, if at all I have to identify few of the important topics which are relevant for this year, high priority topics if I have to say. In geomorphology, obviously every year you can expect at least something related to plate tectonics. So definitely in this next 1 week, if if you have to ask me which is the most important part we have to focus upon, which have to revise, and you should not have any kind of doubt. So that is, these are topics. These are topics which I'm going to highlight on the board. So please make a note of this, and you can use this for your revision. One is plate tectonics for sure. Other than this topic of geomagnetism. So geomagnetism, there was a question on last year also, so about the phenomena of aurora and its occurrence of aurora, which was very well predicted because of the large scale aurora event which happened. So this year also there were few changes and few observations which are made in the context of geomagnetism. So in that context may be asked, or even in the topic of aurora in a different sense it can be asked. And considering the recent number of increased earthquakes, a topic of earthquakes becomes significant, and even including the recent Russian earthquake as well as the topic of tsunami. Okay, so and there are many incidents of recent landslide, mud flow, earth flow, all such events. So in that context, mass movement again becomes significant. Mass movement. Okay, so in Himalayas as well as other parts of India. So these are some of the important themes which you should definitely revise this week without skipping. So try to make a note of this. In addition to this, if you ask me in climatology, the topics of tropical cyclone. Okay, so last year also there was a question on tropical cyclone. This year also we can expect because of so changes in the global climatic conditions. And in addition to this, the topic of the climate changes which are occurring. Okay, so either you can link it in terms of albedo change. Okay, so or in terms of the changes which are being observed in the global circulations, or in terms of the changes occurring in jet streams. Okay, so or the interaction of different types of air masses and their behavior. All such topics which are currently in news due to the global warming and climate change effects, you can make a note of this. This is going to be important. Please revise this part without fail. And one more aspect which I can predict is the global temperature changes and temperature distribution. Okay, must be aware that in prelims there have been consecutively they have been asking in prelims about the distribution of global temperature using isotherms and their patterns. We can expect the same type of a question here also. Fine. In oceanography, obviously the changes which are occurring at the global level includes the ocean currents and the circulations. This is a very important part. In addition to this, the coral reefs and coral bleaching. Okay, please revise this thoroughly. And also the concepts of El Nino and La Nina and related phenomena. These become very significant. You have to be very sure about these parts. So talking about the Indian physical geography, the physiography of India, so we can expect something related to the Himalayas and its overall evolution and the changes which are being observed. Indian climate definitely related to monsoon and its changing pattern. Monsoon and its changing pattern. And in the context of India, extreme events such as cloudbursts. Okay, so already it is asked, but recent incidents of cloudbursts can definitely expect. Fine. And flash floods and GLOFs. So remember, these are the events which are relevant from GS1 also. It's not only from disaster management, even from GS1 also it's significant. So talking about the resources, definitely you can expect one question from water resources, particularly the freshwater resources and the issues associated. Okay, try to develop a broad overview of the issues related to the freshwater management in India particularly, and what are the challenges over there, what are the measures which one has to take, and few of the important significant measures and their application and how far it is feasible. So talking about the mineral and energy resources, you can talk about energy crisis. Okay, so energy crisis is an important topic because so the global geopolitics and its so impact on the energy supply across the world, whether it is the crude oil supply or natural gas supply and its dependency. Okay, so in addition to this, there's also renewable energy sources and its challenges and recent achievements. You can talk about that. Fine. And talking about the agriculture, recent changing patterns of agriculture in the context of climate change, again we can discuss. Okay, so this is an important area. And in addition to this, the 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 issues associated with agriculture sector as a whole, something which is always we can expect question. In the topic of industries and transportation, most of them are related to current themes. I'm talking about the expected areas. Those current industries, for example, semiconductor industry. Okay, industry is a very important one. Okay, so and electric mobility industry, battery manufacturing and auto electric mobility industry, electric vehicle manufacturing industry. Okay, so and also so in the context of pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so talking about the dependency on the API and pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so and even the significance of let's say some of the agro based industry in the context of USA, India. We are discussing about the cotton textile industry or even the dairy industry. Okay, so all of these current related industries become significant. In case of transportation, we can talk about the various recent initiatives of transportation. Okay, whether it is the industrial corridors or high speed expressway corridors, or even the diamond quadrilateral railway corridors, bullet train, and few other initiatives which have been taken in the recent times and their significance. Talking about the social geography, please try to focus more on the demographic changes which are happening. Demographic changes which are happening. Okay, so here in terms of demographic dividend or demographic aging or winter. Okay, so or in the context of the changes in the sex ratio, changes in the literacy rate, which is happening in the context of India as well as world. Try to focus upon that. In addition to this, there's also a topic of migration. Okay, so migration, internal as well as international, particularly in the context of refugee migration. Okay, so and there's also the topic related to urbanization. Okay, so these are my predictions for geography this year. Make sure if you have not covered any of this, definitely make sure that you have been you're going to go through at least few of the basic aspects here. So what are the major challenges which you are going to face as part of your so geography section? My prediction. So within geography section, the most important part which you are going to face an issue is, if at all you are not done a revision, if at all you are a first time or you're going to appear for mains for the first time, and you have read everything, you have not consolidated, you have not done revision, definitely this is going to be a great challenge, because geography as a subject, it's so highly static oriented. If you have not done the revision, this is going to be a great challenge in writing the answer. Okay, so please stop reading anything and try to give at least one thorough revision before your final exam. Okay, whatever you have planned, so if you have planned to read more, please stop all of this. Try to give at least whatever you have read, at least from your basic class notes, whatever you had read, do a complete thorough revision. This is must. And second thing is, in your answers, geography answers, you should focus more on the presentation part, because content, after certain extent, there is always a limitation over there, and everyone will write the same content, but the presentation becomes a very, very significant part. Okay, so presentation in the sense how you are going to make your answers more attractive in terms of writing figures, maps. It is compulsory in geography. If at all I'm talking about the significance of maps and figures, it is compulsory. If you don't write, an evaluator will have a negative feeling about the answer. If you write, okay, so that is what is geography answer. The language of geography is through figures and maps. Okay, make sure you write at least one map or figure in every geography answer, depending upon the applicability. Yes, of course. And examples, as many examples as possible, as many facts. If you cannot do anything, so at least draw a flow chart. Okay, so this kind of presentation is going to add a good amount of value in your geography answers. In addition to this, the facts and information are going to be so very good. So particularly when we talk about the economic geography, resources, economic activity, and even to some extent some of the hazardous events related, so there you try to add some facts and information, and this last 1 week is the time for revising, or if not compiling, at least revising. So if you are not compiled anything, I would suggest you to go through the Vision Mains so short revision modules, where we have given some of the important compilation of facts. And current affairs, this is also again which is significant. Okay, people think it is a general studies paper one, there's not much of role of current affairs. The questions are, most of them are pretty simple and direct. If you don't have to revise current affairs or don't have to integrate current affairs, it's fine. ऐसे कुछ होता है तो बिल्कुल ये गलत बात है. So you have to ensure that in your answer you have enough integration of current affairs. Current affairs becomes a very significant part, because current affairs is what makes your geography answer more relevant. Last week, just do some PYQ analysis. If you have thoroughly done all the PYQ analysis, you remember every PYQ, no need to do that. Okay, otherwise, if you have done some analysis and you don't remember the questions, so try to go through last few PYQs and try to write few answers. This is the time. Because when you start writing too many big answers, full length test at this point of time, you may get tensed. Rather than that, pick up some PYQs and start writing the answer. That will give you confidence. It will also help you in analyzing, okay, so which pattern questions are coming, which type of questions are coming. So along with that, it will also give you a good confidence boost. So some of the things which you have to take care when you write geography answers. Okay, so it's very clearly given the word limit. Please keep the word limit in your mind. A 10 marker should be written for 150 words, and a 15 marker should be written for 250 words. And always keep that in your mind, because the word limit is equal to time limit. You may think you have some extra so space, you will start to write more, because you may have space for writing the words but not the space for the time, because you write more, you lose more time, and you are actually losing out on few of the questions from the end. Okay, so this is one of the major pitfall you have to keep in mind. Even if at all you have completed the answer within the word limit or before the word limit, stop it. No need to do too much of elaboration. Okay, so this is very, very significant. And second thing, you have to choose the questions in which order you want to attempt. Okay, it is basically a personal choice. If you are good with time management, you can start from 10 marker and then move on to 15 marker. If you're able to finish 10 marker on time, that's very good. Okay, so but if at all you have issue in time management, and if you think that if you start with 10 marker, you give too much of time, and you will end up giving you will end up giving very less time for 15 marker. That is going to be a blunder. In that case, I would say start with the 15 marker. Start with the 15 marker, then in the end you come to a 10 marker. Okay, so in geography, if there are going to be a total of 8 questions, okay, four questions from 10 marker, 4 questions from 15 marker, you can start with the last 4 questions of 15 marker, finish it. If your geography is your strong subject in the entire paper 1, I would suggest start with the geography only, complete that, then come to geography 10 marker, complete that, then go to other sections. So that at least you have that confidence. Okay, you have done well in your strong area. Now it's the time to perform in the weaker area. Okay, so that's uh, the the selection of the question becomes very significant. Answer rating, I would suggest a very simple strategy for you. This is what is clap strategy. Okay, so there are 5 basic ingredients of any answer. You fulfill all 5, you will get claps from the evaluator. Okay, please remember this. These are the 5 ingredients: content, language, approach, presentation, and structure. Just remember this in your mind. Whenever you write answer, ensure that you have all 5. Content, basic content you have, so you will be able to fulfill. Some additional extra content you have to add. That comes then and there while thinking over there. Language, geography, try to keep your language pretty simple and straightforward. No need to do elaboration here. No need to go in very flowery and too much of difficult jargons. Approach, very important. When you read the question, ensure that you have understood the question thoroughly. Ensure that you have understood the meaning of the question. Then only you will be able to fulfill the demand of it. Presentation, I've already discussed the importance of presentation. That adds very good amount of value in geography. Okay, so the more figures, maps, and so in bullet form with examples you write, the better it is going to be. And structured, every answer has to be written in a structured manner. Okay, so introduction, body, conclusion, or way forward. So that has to be very clearly defined and identified. The structure of the answer will decide how well you have written it. Okay, so and again, don't think that writing too much is very good and you have to write too much. It's not required, and it's not also about the writing too fast. Okay, so you will write very fast and complete the paper. No, it's not that. See, mains is about thinking faster. If you are thinking faster, your answer will be very much structured. Even within the given time limit, within the given word limit, you will be able to fulfill the demand of the question. Right? So that is what is a good answer. So I will discuss few of the pitfalls. The overall strategy for geography here. So my suggestion, GS1, the most important scoring part in the entire GS1 is your geography. Please ensure that you do well in geography. If at all you have done well, if at all it is your strong area, please don't keep geography to the end, because it happens that when you write other sections, and if you get less time, in the end it appears like you have not done well in other sections also, and your strong area also you have ignored. Okay, so ensure that you perform well in geography section. Whatever the order you want to choose, it's up to you. Second, please try to maintain a calm and composed mind in the examination. Okay, so particularly those who are going to appear for the first time, you're going to see the entire exam UPSC center for the first time, and you're going to face many things new. Okay, so please adjust, accommodate quickly, and show your presence of mind. Be there in the examination. Okay, so and try to give your best in spite of whatever the difficulties and challenges which you are going to go through. Fine, and keep that in mind. The geography is going to be very scoring if you are going to make use of it. Okay, so try to focus on the answer rating. So try to focus on the presentation. Try to so add as many figures and maps as much as possible. Fine. So that is in brief a suggestion for geography in GS1 for those particularly who are going to appear for 2025. So you have done your effort. This is just the last run. Okay, so hold on to it and give your best. I wish you all the best. Thank you.